Welcome to the May 21st agenda meeting of South Plainfield Mayor and Council. This meeting has been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, with adequate notice of this meeting being provided to the borough's two official newspapers and also published on the borough's website. Amy, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilwoman Faustini.
Here.
Councilman Lesh.
Here.
Councilman White.
Here.
Councilman Bullock.
Here.
Council President Benjavanga.
Here. Thank you. Can you take us through a review of tonight's agenda, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. This evening, we actually have two matters on for executive session. One's a personnel matter regarding property maintenance officer, and we need to add one more item, which is also a personnel matter regarding the computer service technician. We then have approval of minutes for May 7th, 2018. There are three proclamations on for this evening, two ordinances on for first reading by title. We have three budget-related resolutions and 13 regular resolutions, and four matters of correspondence, payment of bills totaling $1,399,060.21, council reports, and we conclude with public comments, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Council comments on agenda items?
Yeah, Mayor, I have one for 18-213, and I just would like to know, or have maybe Glenn can explain what it is.
So, budget-related hiring practices.
This is a new requirement by the state in regards to, it's now part of the state's mandated amount in regards to the adoption of our budget. We now have to include this statement that we comply with these regulations.
But what regulation is it?
It's the certifying of the hiring practices of the borough.
And are we in compliance with it? Okay, we just want to make sure before I sign it.
Anything else?
Yes, Mayor, resolution 18-219, can we separate that, please?
Yes. Anything else? Okay, seeing none. Can I get a motion for executive session, resolution 18-212, personnel, property maintenance officer, and as noted, personnel, computer service technician?
So,
Second. Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman White. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will have executive session tonight. This time we'll open it up for public comments on agenda items only. Seeing none, close the public portion. I ask for a motion to adjourn tonight's agenda meeting.
So
We are adjourned, seeing no reason to delay. We'll go right to the public meeting. Again, this meeting has been advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10:4-6, with adequate notice of this meeting also being provided to the borough's two official newspapers, also published on the borough's website. Amy, will you call the roll once more?
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilwoman Faustini.
Here.
Councilman Lesh.
here.
Councilman White.
Here.
Councilman Bullock.
Here.
Council President Benjavanga.
Here.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Councilman Dean.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over the residents of South Plainfield, but also please welcome Mario Abruzzese into your hands as we've tragically lost him in recent days. We want to thank him for his service that he did to our country, our fire department of 42 plus years, and his time that he put in with the borough as well as code enforcement and emergency management as well. Amen.
Once again, we'll open up for public comments on agenda items only. Seeing none, close the public portion. Can I get a motion to approve the council minutes of May 7th agenda and public?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman White. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean.
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini.
Yes.
Councilman Lesh.
Abstain.
Councilman White.
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
And Council President Benjamin?
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
5-0, sorry about
As mentioned, we have a couple of proclamations today. The first being honoring Coach Don Panzarella. Whereas the Borough of South Plainfield takes immense pride in applauding high school coach Don Panzarella for achieving New Jersey softball's number of wins record, coming in at 744 out of 948 games as of May 2018, still going strong. I confirm he's not retiring anytime soon. And whereas nicknamed Donnie Softball, over the course of 37 years, he has developed a softball program that is second to none. Through his enthusiasm and passion for the sport, putting everything he has to the program. And whereas Don continues to work together with his teams in an atmosphere of wholesale community activity to provide valuable training for the participants and entertainment of the spectators. And whereas may his spirit and determination for success carry him well as he continues on to many more well-deserved victories. Now therefore, I, Matthew Pianesh, Mayor of the Borough of South Plainfield, do hereby, on behalf of the Borough Council and the citizens of the Borough of South Plainfield, do hereby congratulate and thank Coach Don Panzarella for his dedication to sportsmanship, personal growth, attention to detail, and team unity. We hereby further extend our heartfelt appreciation for bringing such pride to the community. And I know the coach would say he couldn't have done it over the years without a myriad of assistant coaches and also great talent that he helped cultivate. So, Coach, you want to come up here with... So it's better than on the court day, right?
Okay. Sorry.
The real one doesn't work?
Oh, no, I left the card at work. It's one of those days, okay? Hang on. Thank you, sorry.
Coach, we'll turn it over to you. You want to address the spectators on TV and here?
It's not, I'd like to thank you guys for honoring me, but it's not just about me. It's about the kids I've had. It's about South Plainfield. Put you guys on the map. I think that's important too. Not just about me and the people that I have that coach for me. Joe Blano's been with me for a while. We have a volunteer, Cody Decker. I have my son's been with me about 9 years. It's not just about me. It's about all these guys that put all the hard work into it to make me as good as I have been. And my wife for putting up with me for 37 years. Some of my players, I know you asked, they went somewhere else. Okay. They just texted the ball. I don't know where they went to the board.
They'll be here ASAP.
Okay.
Go back up.
Bring them back up. We'll touch on the photo.
Huh?
But again, I'd like to thank everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to work on that.
One more, two more.
Operator error.
Oh, it's all right. Best time.
Thank you.
Coach, I know you do a lot with the South Plainfield Recreation as well when you encourage them, so I think that's honorable. We appreciate that. Definitely. Thank you. One thing.
Nancy.
Way back. Way back. I don't know what happened.
Writing on this one's extremely small. It's age, but it's also extremely small, right? Amy, we gotta get bigger font on this. Emergency Medical Services Week, May 20th through May 26th. And whereas emergency medical services are a vital public service, and whereas members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services providers have traditionally served as the safety net of America's healthcare system. And whereas emergency medical services teams consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas Americans benefit daily from the knowledge and skills of these highly trained individuals. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating an emergency medical week. And whereas injury prevention and the appropriate use of the EMS system will help reduce national health care costs. Now therefore I, Mayor of the Borough of South Plainfield, call upon all citizens of South Plainfield in recognition of this event and do hereby proclaim the week of May 20th through 26th, 2018 as Emergency Medical Services Week and encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Eddie, if you can come up and accept.
You should be in the
You want to address, I'll give you the opportunity to address the crowd.
Thank you for your support, and as of Wednesday, we are at 50 volunteer members on the rescue squad. So
I think of all the services, I have a sister who's a police officer. My father, as many of you know probably, earlier served as president of the rescue squad. And also a lot of my brothers and sisters also volunteered. I often get asked, well, why didn't you? If you've ever seen me in front of either my son, myself, or anybody else who gets a minor cut, I am the first one to pass out. So, I don't know, go figure. But it was not, for me. So I do have, the utmost respect and admiration for everybody. I remember as a young boy, my father, the sounds of that beeper going off in the house and him just leaving, no matter what was going on. So thank you and all the volunteers over the years for your dedication. And this one's a little bit late, but we are celebrating National Police Week, which was May 13th through 19th, but we're going to push it 1 week further in the borough to make sure we bring the EMS and police together. Whereas Congress and the President of the United States have designated May 13th through May 19th, 2018 as National Police Week, and whereas members of the South Plainfield Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of citizens of South Plainfield, and whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and the members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression. And whereas the Police Department of the Borough of South Plainfield has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency which continuously provides a vital public service. Now therefore I, Matthew K. Nash, Mayor of the Borough of South Plainfield, call upon all citizens of South Plainfield and upon all patriotic, civil, and educational organizations to observe last week as National Police Week and urge our citizens to honor and salute the service of law enforcement officers in the community and in the communities across the nation. And honestly, I know nationally we do call out 1 week for police and fire, but I think it's gone well beyond that in recent years, and not just police, as I said, our emergency services as well. So Chief, if you can come up and accept this. first. I'm not even going to ask you to say anything.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Chief.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for everybody's support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We want to bring them up here. How do you want to do it? Bring them up here. Come up, coaches, assistant coaches, softball players. Yeah, this is going to be the mayor. We're going to have you guys here. Take a picture of the next picture.
We went to the, we went to English and
Wanda over here. Coach, have a seat.
That's Pansy's.
Looks better already. There you go.
I've never wanted to yell at you.
Hey, come on here, come on, here we go, come on in, guys.
We're all in the same traffic.
Hey, Mayor. Mayor, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Hey, Chief, who was the softball coach when you were in high school?
With Penzarella.
Your senior year or freshman year?
My freshman year.
Thanks.
Can they go between you?
Girls, is there anything you want to say about your coach? Not to put you on the spot, but everything.
Here, move the mic so we can hear you.
Oh, I just said you're really awesome.
Thanks again, Coach.
It's all blonde. I blame Wanda for everything.
So, Coach, how many more years you looking?
How many more years?
Yeah. You don't know?
Breaking
No
news.
comment.
I enjoy it. So
Yes, no, it's not a job if you enjoy it. And he wants that margin of victory to protect that record. No, I hear you. Congratulations again, in all
Thanks
seriousness.
again, thank you, guys.
What's that? Oh, yeah, you guys are under no obligation to stay if you want. That's fine, but
Look at Wando's like at the
Wanda was already making a move, so feel free to get up and leave whenever you need. Okay, for introduction, ordinance 2021-12.
Bond ordinance providing for various road improvements in and by the borough of Plainfield and County Middlesex, New Jersey, appropriating
Can I get a motion for introduction on ordinance 2112?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Council President Benjavanga. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
No.
Councilwoman Bassini?
Yes.
Councilman Bash?
No.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Wolf?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
And that passes 4-2.
Thank you. The public hearing for final adoption for ordinance 2112 is tentatively scheduled for June 4th, 2018, at 7 p.m. As will be ordinance 2113. For introduction, ordinance 2113.
Bond ordinance amending in its entirety bond ordinance number 2076 of the Borough of South Plainfield in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey, finally adopted May 1st, 2017, to include additional projects, to include an additional grant, to decrease and increase certain appropriation and authorization amounts, to increase the down payment, to increase the Section 20 cost, and to amend the average useful life.
Just before everyone votes, on this ordinance, this is to essentially amend an ordinance that was introduced a year ago, 2076. Although the numbers that you're looking at here, the net increase in the new debt is actually $109,000. Essentially, funds that were used for like the wrestling mats, the cheer mats within the recreation department, those monies that were left over were moved to be able to use towards the addition that's being put on the side of the PAL, in addition to a number of HVAC units, and as well as the purchase of a mini van that's wheelchair accessible for the senior center. But the net is actually 190.25, and not the number that you see there, 751 in aggregate.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for introduction on ordinance 2113?
Motion?
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman Faustini, seconded by Council President Benjavanga. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
No.
Councilwoman Bassini?
Yes.
Councilman Bash?
No.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 4-2.
Thank you. Good. Right. Can I get a motion for Resolution 18-213, certifying that the governing body of the Borough of South Plainfield has complied with the hiring practices under NJSA 48:4-5, a new mandatory requirement by the state.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Woloch, seconded by Councilman Dean. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bassini?
Yes.
Councilman Bash?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
That passes 6-0, and may I add, this is your group affidavit, so I'll start with Councilman Bash, pass it around, if you could all just please sign right here, and then I get it back.
Thank you. Resolution 18-214, authorizing the public hearing and approval of the 2018 municipal budget amendment. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Councilman Woloch, second by Councilman White. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Bassini?
Yes.
Councilman Bash?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. At this point, I'll open the meeting for any comments regarding the authorization and the approval of the 2018 municipal budget amendment.
Yes, Mayor, I just wanted to mention real
Public
quick.
comment.
Was that the second amendment?
Go ahead.
Was that 214?
That was 214.
Okay.
That was you, Mayor.
I apologize. I was signing this. I would want to put no on that.
Just to clarify, Councilman Bash, no on, is that resolution 214?
Authorizing the public hearing?
Or is it, which resolution are you desiring to vote no on?
Okay, wait a minute.
We only called the roll on 214. And 213 prior to that.
Okay, I'm sorry, yes.
That's yes to both?
No, yes to 213, yes to 214.
Thank you. Both passes 6-0.
Mr. Cullen?
Okay, Mayor, before you move, right now is the 2018 municipal budget. There is an amendment onto the existing budget that was originally introduced. The budget that was introduced, the actual net change that you'll be looking at is there's a net increase of $2,000, which represents an environmental grant, really not a big number. We ended up going through the process. The amount to be raised by taxation, which I guess is one of the items that everybody wants to look at, is how much does that change? That number's changed a little over $11,000. We would have had a larger decrease in what's been introduced, except, and I think Councilman Benjamin will speak to this later on, we've made some additional investments within police salary and wage, and that number there is higher from what was originally introduced. I actually have up front here, if anybody's interested, I just kind of have a summary of what the mayor and council have, and it's really just a bullet listing of items in what would be the adopted budget. Our 2018 budget with these changes, they do not require a second public hearing. If we were, let's say, introducing a new item of either revenue or expenses that was greater than 1%, we'd have to have a second public hearing. If we were changing any one line item in the budget by greater than 10%, we'd have to have a public hearing. And if taxes were either going up or down by 5%, we'd need an additional public hearing. You know, none of those criteria are being met by the adjustments that are being made tonight. The budget that you're looking at right now is $29,767,000. The amount to be raised by taxation is $19 million, approximately $330. That results in essentially a flat municipal tax levy. I think the average home is going down just about $2, $1.80. Some of the drivers in our budget, our rateable base is up almost $15.1 million. It's the third year in a row of an increase in our rateable base. That increase in the base that is levied alone has provided over $206,000 in net municipal taxes to the borough. Our salary and wages, which are up approximately 3.7%, I believe like 75-80% of the increase is due to the increases that we have currently within the police department and public safety. The appropriation increases, it's really very, very basic. I mean, we're up about $980,000, and police is $313, health benefits $291, pension, which everybody's pension this year has kind of been hit due to some of the changes that were made when Governor Christie left and some of the people under him. That was $183,000. Our debt service is up $111,000. And when we introduced the budget, we introduced it knowing that we were going to have increased costs in snow as well as recycling. And although we don't necessarily, recycle debris, that's where it kind of falls. And part of tonight's amendment, we once again increased those line items as well. Not significantly, but we felt that we may be coming a little short in those items because of the storms that we had back in March. I think it's a great budget. It's the second year in a row that the borough's been flat. You'll see a lot of times, municipalities go flat one year and then it's kind of yo-yo, and we haven't had any of those things. I think we've been pretty consistent all the years that I've been here. That there has been huge gyrations in the borough's tax structure. We do not foresee anything like that occurring in the future. We continue to have pretty strong revenue growth in a number of areas. Our building fees are up, and all in all, I want to thank. When we introduced the municipal budget, it's not like we put something out there that we look to then and say that we've been able to erase $1 million in expenses. We try doing a lot of preemptive work with our managers, knowing where we're going to be. Anybody that's in municipal government knows you're always working on 3 budgets. It's last year's, this year's, and the following year, and then you're even looking the following year past that. Administration and finance, typically, we have schedules where we're looking at what we think taxes are going to be 3 years out based upon, what may be potential increases or decreases in our rateable base. We don't, this budget doesn't have any one-time revenues that we think are an issue. We're looking at this and we think that it adequately funds the borough's operations. And, we have a couple of things that we're hoping that we could have going forward. So, if anybody has any questions.
Mr. Collins, I just want to thank you. I know we've been at this for a while, and the economy today is certainly much different than it was in 2008 and even 2010. And I think that's what's really telling here. This budget is another success story for South Plainfield and South Plainfield taxpayers. Each year we do strive to adequately fund government operations, but we do that in a manner that makes sure that the residents or the town is affordable to residents, but also without taking deep cuts in services. As Councilman White is often by my side as we're meeting with both current and future business owners in South Plainfield, one of the things that they often talk about, and they recognize the record, and it's just something that you said that struck me, it's the relative predictability and the levelness of this budget. It's not budgets that are taking wild swings, as you've seen in some other municipalities. So no huge cuts, for the purpose of cutting. And I just want to thank Council President Benjamin and also the entire Finance Committee, Councilman White and Wolak, who again were able to achieve that goal of a smarter and more affordable government. I know it means a lot to me, it means a lot to the residents of South Plainfield. It means a lot today, and it means especially a lot when times are tougher than they have been. So it's something that we will continue to preach to the residents of the borough and also to the business community as we look to bring additional operations into the borough. So congratulations on a job well done. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Council President Benjamin.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I want to thank Glenn for working alongside me over the years, being on administration and finance. We definitely work within our means in the borough, as well as making sure that our residents have some sort of service increase each year, whether it's, you see with the garbage truck, we had the brand new garbage truck got delivered today. So the pickup on demands continue. We were able to achieve the debris pickup and whatnot. But I just want to go through some of the details of the municipal budget. That the average assessed home this year will pay $1,665.95 in municipal taxes for the year of 2018. So this represents a $1.80 decrease below last year, which is essentially flat, and the total municipal taxes represent 23% of the total property tax bill. So some of the items that I want to highlight in this budget, as well as other items we have in store, this budget, as it will be adopted in a few minutes, will be the second year in a row that we've been able to achieve a flat tax rate for the municipality. Municipal taxes still remain below 2009 municipal levels. I don't know anywhere in the state that can have that record. Salary and wages are higher than the hiring of police officers and whatnot. And I want to thank Glenn and the administration over at the schools, as well as Councilman Wolak, of his leadership as Commissioner of Police. We came to a tentative agreement for the municipality to hire 2 new additional school resource officers, which we hope to have on for the next meeting. We are still working on finalizing that plan with the school board, but that is where you will see some money here additionally for cops and whatnot. And with that, I spoke to the chief, and I asked that Councilman Wolak work with him in restructuring the department in a way that can handle these situations. So if you guys can sit together, come up with a way that you'd like to restructure the department to do that, and present it to us for our next meeting, that would be appropriate too. As we know, we had snowstorms throughout the winter, and a lot of wind and a lot of heavy snow, which obviously was not normal for us, and it did break down a lot of branches. That debris cleanup and ongoing sometimes cost nearly $100,000 for the borough. In addition, you'll see on tonight's agenda a resolution agreeing to the Middlesex Water Company. As everybody here is well known, that if you drive around town, the water company dug up our roads over the past year. Well, in 2016, we proposed an ordinance to give us the leverage to put our roads back in place after the utility companies come in. So a lot of the roads that you're going to see on this ordinance are going to be paid starting this week from Jones Street all the way down to Mill, which is Veterans Park. Every road that from Jones Street down will be paved in full. And I want to thank Glenn and Len Miller for working with the water company over the past 7 or 8 months to make sure that our roads go back to normal. The water company, in conjunction with the borough, the water company itself will be paving nearly 20 roadways, fully paved, and I want to thank them for their cooperation with the borough. It's a win-win for us and the residents. The borough will also be resurfacing a lot of roads. We've already approved Hadley Road, as well as Lennon Terrace, Orchard Drive, Ranger Street, and Rizzoli Terrace, with some additional storm sewers on those roads. Other ones that we're looking to do will be on the list as listed in the ordinance, specifically Cedar Brook Moors this summer around the school system. We'll get those done in the summer. Gary, I believe the county will be doing Plainfield Avenue as well.
We will. We're trying to schedule it, hopefully when there's no school.
Okay, so there'll be a lot of infrastructure work going on throughout the borough, specifically with the Middlesex Water Company, putting back the roads the way they were. At the PAL, obviously, tonight we voted to have part of the large storage room added to the PAL for the rest of the year. That's something that's been talked about with Councilwoman Faustini and the Rec Commission, and glad to see that come to fruition. With the help of Councilwoman Faustini and the Recreation Commission and the Library, they've also helped to put in addition to the Willow Park in the back with the inclusive park, which we're seeing coming to fruition soon, and she'll speak to that later. So there have been a number of challenges this year that kind of were never ending. Everywhere you looked, there was snow, debris, whatever, state pension changes added to us. But we all rolled up our sleeves and we made sure we got it done for the borough of South Plainfield. So thank you, Glenn, for your leadership. Len for working on all those things with the water company, even though you probably lost more hair from it. But we really do appreciate all the hard work, and we look forward to those roads being smooth come the end of June. That project should last until the end of June, so it'll be an ongoing project with everything until the fall. So with that, Mayor, thank you.
I just wanted to thank everybody again, and for the folks that have been here since 2009 and before. Obviously, the part of the tax bill, as you know, that we can control, that has for the past 9 years been controlled. Municipal taxes, as a result, are still below the 2009 levels, and I'm proud of the accomplishments that we've been able to achieve. A lot of that does have to do with Councilman White and his Economic Development Committee. I think he's really driven that to a new level, and that's been very critical to the borough's financial results. If you look at the rateable base, as you know, the chief financial officer said, increase this year. If you look over 2 years, you're looking at $24 million increase. That is a direct reflection of Councilman White's hard work and determination in attracting new jobs and businesses to South Plainfield. And I know just this past, I think it was Thursday, we were touring not a new business, but one that again, the common story that we hear came over from another municipality a couple of years ago, looked at a property, a warehouse property in the industrial side of town that was in huge need of a not only a facelift but major work, and they invested in that work because largely, in fact, that I had mentioned it because of the borough's fiscal management. I think at some point in the near future, you're going to have some additional news that comes out of that meeting, which again is going to be to the vein of a redevelopment of some existing eyesores in the community, and just how much that's going to transform and continue to further transform the gateway into South Plainfield. So again, great work by everybody. And at this point, unless there's any other council comments.
I'd like to give credit to the borough employees, departments, and volunteers. This winter was like being hit by a mini superstorm Sandy. We need to default to raising taxes, declaring financial emergencies, or borrowing additional money. We'll plan properly throughout the year, and this is why we are able to handle whatever Mother Nature throws at us. Thank you again, Glenn, and all the employees for their hard work. And I just want to add to it, this is my second year being on administrative finance, and it's a pleasure to watch the process work. It's very tight and organized, and everybody pitches in to lend a hand and to keep our boroughs financially sound, very financially sound.
Mayor, just one last thing real quick. I left everybody in the back of the packet so you have it. It's up there as well. This is actually just off the state website, and what it is, it's our levy calculation. So what that means is essentially, how much could taxes actually go up in any given year based upon, the whole new 2% rule. So if you look, you'll see in the very, it's probably the last page, you'll see that, like I said, this is actually from the state website. So you'll see 2014 and roughly $833,000 it says it's going to lapse. So essentially it's $833,000 that could have been taxed that wasn't, okay? And then there's, $462,000 was available for this year, another $269 and $503. So, I mean, this is one of these things where, once again, I mean, we go through the process, we look at, what's required to adequately fund the operations of the borough, and, there's never a move to try to get us to, what can we do? It's, what do we need? And so I thought, I know some of these, maybe haven't seen this before, and I just thought it'd be something you maybe want to.
So you're looking at 2.1 million by my quick calculation over 4 years.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
2.1 million higher than taxes could be $2.1 million higher than they are. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to get a couple clarifications.
Sure.
I understand that, obviously, everybody worked very hard, I'm sure, on this, and that our salaries, everything, operating expenses have gone up. But it seems like, did it go up approximately 1.2 million? But we borrowed, we took approximately 380,000 out of our surplus, bring it down to the 900.
We're utilizing more surplus because we generated more surplus.
Okay, so how much do we have in our surplus after we took out the 380?
Well, we took out more than 380. We ended up taking, every year what we do is our surplus is a rolling surplus. So in any given year, we take in surplus to use it to offset taxes, and then after we take in. So a year ago, we used 8.6 million in surplus. And then last year, we generated essentially over 2.4 million in surplus. So the surplus figure here. All right, so we generated $2,429,000 roughly in surplus. We're taking in 2.1 million, and we're leaving a balance of 244,000. It's on sheet 39.
Only going to 200,000 in our surplus.
With the anticipation of generating more surplus than the previous year. So every year, since I've been on council, since '05, every year, the previous year's surplus, a majority of that has been used, rolls over, and that year's budget then generates more surplus than the previous year. So at some time in like '07, '08, there was $2.5 million of surplus utilized in the budget. And then obviously with the crash and the state aid being pulled out, a lot of that decreased in 2010 or 11 or 12. I believe it was 10, 11, and 12.
Well, let me just, if you look at that same sheet, and you see, if you go to sheet 39. So on sheet 39, if you go to the right-hand side, you'll see 2017. Okay, so we had a number of essentially $2,046,000. Of that $2,046,000, in the 2017 budget, we took in $1,816,000 to offset what would be property taxes, leaving a balance of $230,000. So we had a balance of $230,000. We generated enough money to finish the year at $2.4 million. And now we're taking in $2,185,000, leaving a balance of $244,000. So we're actually we're leaving a balance of about $15,000 more than what we did for the 2017 budget.
And Glenn, I know I think 4 years ago, we did an analysis of this, right? And we're back 10 years or so. This was the same exact practice. Nothing has changed. The borough continues to utilize surplus and regenerate that surplus.
Correct. And it seems that since 2012, though, our debt has increased $7.5 million.
Since 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we bought $1.3 million fire truck, a $600,000 fire truck. Every year we have different roads that we pave and stuff like that have a 20-year useful life.
Yeah.
So obviously, like this year we permanently finance a lot of these bonds and stuff like that. The garbage truck was $300,000. Those are costs that you're going to spread over 10, 15, 20 years, and each year we make a principal payment towards that.
But what are we paying on? Like, how much of our debt are we actually paying off every year? Because the way I'm seeing it is I'm coming up with, we're only paying basically the minimum by law for approximately like $174,000 per year. Which basically we're only just paying back our interest on these loans. Maybe a little bit of, obviously minimal principal probably.
Yeah, I mean,
We're only
Glenn,
paying our interest back.
Glenn, we had a couple of short-term notes that were 2 years that was $1
Well,
million.
I mean, our principal pay downs this year about $700,000.
Yeah.
That's on,
So do we have like an actual overall debt reduction plan that, we're gonna be working towards, not so that every, because if we're up $7.5 million now, by next year, we could potentially be, we're at $21 million now, total debt. So projected next year, we could, in the next few years, we could be at a plus of 25, 26 million.
Well, but also stuff will fall off.
Right,
too.
all right,
So,
that's what
like,
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
like the fire truck, yeah. We
But
have
then fire truck
$20.
is what? That's how many, what's that lifelong?
What is that, 20 or 25?
10 years?
well, I mean, the last fire truck, we kept 25 years, but that's it. That is a
Yeah,
10-year.
but I'm saying the actual bond of.
The actual life,
Yeah.
that was
So-
10 years.
So for example, like with the engine, not the ladder truck, the engine, we bought the new one. The principal payment for the one that we purchased in '02 had come off that year, so we replaced it with the new engine.
Okay.
So it kind of works itself out.
But we don't really have, other than just relying on debt coming off, we're not really paying.
Well, then we pay 700 some thousand.
Yeah, you can accelerate your debt schedule payments, but at this rate, Glenn, I mean, the rates that we're borrowing it almost don't make sense to do that. You're not going to accelerate. You're going to accelerate debt payments, obviously, when you're forced to borrow at higher interest rates, which is costing you a lot more money, right? So when you talk about the things that we're bonding for with a useful life of 10 or 12 years, but it's really finance 101, right? Now, most people take a mortgage out. You can, if you've got the cash, buy a house with cash, right? Public finance is a little bit different than personal finance. There's tax reasons for both. But when you're looking at, a large capital purchase that has a useful life of 10, whatever years it might be, 10, 15, 20 years, it really is counterintuitive even go out and tax residents for that amount, right? Because what you're essentially doing is you're spreading the cost of a asset that has a useful life of, let's say, 10 years over the rateable base for 1 year. Now, for most of us, that doesn't necessarily make all that much difference. But as people move in and out of town, it really just kind of violates public finance 101. It's not something that would make a whole lot of sense to do. Now, there are always situations where you might want to change that, right? So where you have rising interest rates that are much higher, and you're looking at your cost of borrowing those funds really outweighs it, or that you've got debt on there, and then you want to reduce those higher bonds. in an instance like that, it makes perfect sense to do that. You accelerate your debt payment schedule as you're generating surplus to pay off higher, interest rate bonds and stuff like that. Not saying that you can't do it. It's just not something that would really make a whole lot of financial sense. What we'd be doing is we'd be taxing residents additional to pay off bonds that really aren't presenting the borough any issues. You don't have to take my word or the chief financial officer's word for it. You look at the rating agencies that continually say the same exact thing, right? And when you look at the amount of borrowing that the borough has to what the rateable base would actually support, it's nowhere near anything, right?
Yeah,
So
I believe we rank one of the lowest percentage-wise
Yeah.
to the rating
Lowest-
base in the county.
lowest in the county. So again, you have to look at all of those factors because you can always take one particular item and say you should do this. You can't necessarily argue. You can always pay off debt faster. You can always decide to pay cash for an asset and not, borrow for that. Whether a year or 2 or 3 years, you see a rising interest rate environment, it's going to make sense to do that. It's probably not going to make sense to necessarily increase the principal payments all that much because they're pretty low. The only thing that's going to happen is interest rates are going to rise. The question over the years will be, how do you fund those road projects and stuff like that? Do you use them bigger,
Well,
more?
that's what I'm concerned about.
Yes.
It's like our bigger roads that are eventually gonna have to be, that are gonna cost millions of dollars to get, brought back up to speed. Eventually someday, Borough Hall may need to be completely redone, community pool eventually is gonna need to be completely refound. So, in
Yeah.
the years to come, we could be potentially looking at some serious, numbers.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things like Hadley Road, which was
Well,
something that we had.
we're very fortunate that we were able to get
Well,
that.
and those are the types of things that we apply for, so like, you look at other things, phase 1 of Hadley Road, phase 2, that's a $2 million project essentially that the Transportation Trust Fund
Yes.
is actually gonna fund most of it. And, it's amazing, when you look at the whole debt issue and stuff like that around the country or whatever, the rating agencies, some towns are getting decreasing ratings, others are getting improved, like we are. You look at our taxes, and I just said that the municipal taxes is 23% of the tax. Obviously, the majority of the school is the schools, and then you have the other 20% is the county. When you look at what South Plainfield owes each part of the tax bill, the average South Plainfield person owes more to the county than they do to their own municipality. Because we run the municipality in a financially sound way, where they actually have less of the tax bill, but as a whole, the taxpayers owe more to the county in debt service than they do to the municipality.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, the school board has a referendum that added $30 million to a 20-some or 30 years, but until they did that, they had less of an obligation than even the county, and they represent 65% of the tax bill. So, it's something that we really work hard here to make sure that we deliver to the residents.
It's something that you always have to keep in mind, but again, all the factors have to come into play, right? Depending on how far you're looking at that. Again, there's bonds are going to roll off that schedule and so forth. So, yeah, look, it's something that chief financial officer is looking at constantly, right? When you look at this, you're always looking, several years ahead. So while you're not necessarily structuring a budget, because it doesn't make any sense to do that, you've got financial projections that are going out there.
Do we have a lot of bonds that will be coming off, in a year or so?
You got a whole restructuring, right?
Yeah, I don't have the debt service schedule in front of me.
Yeah.
We will be paying,
Yeah.
next year we'll be paying, like right now this year, you're looking at about $723,000 in pay downs. I would expect next year to be, at least $1 million. I don't have the exact number, maybe $1 million, $1.1 million, it's gonna be somewhere in there.
That was something we just voted on not
Yeah.
long ago, correct?
Yes.
So, that's already done.
Any other council comments? Before I forget to open it up to the public.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Keeping myself under. Anything else? Okay, at this point, we'll open up the public hearing on the approval of the 2018 municipal budget amendment. Okay, seeing none, close the public portion. We did vote on 214, correct? Yes. Can I get a motion for Resolution 18-215, authorizing the adoption of the 2018 municipal budget?
So,
Second.
Motion by Council President White, seconded by Council President
it's a
Benjavanga,
haircut, right?
seconded by Councilman Wallach. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
No.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
No.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 4-2.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for Resolution 18-219?
So,
Second.
Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman Wallach. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Recused, my son is a lifeguard.
And Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Recuse, my daughter is working concessions this year.
Okay, and Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
yes.
Passes 4-0.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for Resolutions 18-216 to 18-220 to 228?
So,
Second.
Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman White. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. We have 4 items of correspondence. Environmental Commission minutes for February 14, 2018. Planning Board minutes of April 24th. Environmental Monthly Report for April, and the Zoning Board minutes for April 17th. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Council President Benjavanga. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. On payment of bills for $1,399,060.21. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman White, seconded by Councilman Dean. Amy, can you call the roll?
Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Mr. Cullen, anything additional tonight?
Mayor, I just want to thank everyone for participating, in the budget process, all the department heads, employees, and everyone. It's, like I said,
Got to speak up, they can't hear you.
it's a process. Every year it's a little bit different, but all in all, I think the results, have been the same. And similar to what Councilman Wallach said is, each year there always seems to be some type of new surprise. But, I think we've done a good job handling it. And more importantly, I think Len's guys in Public Works really did a bang-up job. I've been to Westfield and areas around here, and there's still seems debris all over the place, and I think pretty much any debris that's around here is things that have been cut and dragged to the curb long after the storm. And just echo what Councilman Dean had mentioned. 2 weeks ago, I received a call from Mario, and we really thought he was all coming back to work. And it was a very stunning thing for everybody within the borough. And he devoted really his whole life to South Plainfield. It was his hometown. He was in the fire department for over 40 years, and he was just, really a great person. He's gonna be missed. And he was over in Public Works. He was over in OEM, and in the twilight here, his career with the borough, he was over in Borough Hall, and he moved in with Harriet in the health department, and I think everybody always kind of wondered how that was going to go. And there were 2 peas in a pod, and they were 2 very different personalities, and they became best of friends, and we're good with
Couldn't have said it better. Mr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, thank you. We talked about the road projects that the water company is going to be doing for us, and they're actually going to start tomorrow with milling of Jones Street, so they'll be out there tomorrow. The project's probably going to be done about the end of June, it should all be completed, so you'll be seeing those roads worked on in the very near future. On our road projects, our contractors, the contractor started the Orchard project in Lonsdale, and he was out doing test pits out there. We're waiting on some of those results, and then he should be getting going shortly. And as soon as we get some DOT approval, we'll be ready to start on Hadley Road also. With that progress.
Not a moment too soon. Ms. Antonides. Thank you. Councilman Dean. Councilman Best.
Thanks, Mayor. Just one question. I was informed today that we had a OSHA inspection down at the DPW a couple weeks ago, maybe.
Yes.
I wasn't informed. I'd like to know the status of it. I mean, you know, this is, again, I'm going to ask you, when there is something important that goes down in your department, you should be letting me know.
Yes, well, I'll send you over the report. They were mostly minor issues that we just need to take care of. I'll send the report over.
I appreciate it. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Waller.
On a lighter note, I had the pleasure of attending the line dancing at the senior center this Saturday, and I chuckled because it's not the easiest thing for me to do, but I went to bed with toe, heel, step, step right, step left, toe, heel, step right in my head. I couldn't sleep. No, at first I couldn't sleep, but it was a great time. People seemed to enjoy themselves, and I thank the Cultural Arts for putting it together, and with that progress.
Thank you. Councilman White.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For those of you who may not have heard, motor vehicle was opened today officially at 5,000 Hadley Road. I went by this morning around 8:15, and the employees were coming in, and they were so excited to be back in town. It's a more spacious facility. The parking is more than ample. They've extended their hours. They're open until 5:30 now, Monday through Friday. And then on Tuesday nights, they're open until 7:30 as they normally were. But it was just nice to see how excited everyone was, and to have that back in town and have access for the residents. So very happy that that was able to be done, and thanks to everyone who participated and helped bring that to fruition. Just wanted to remind everyone, Fit Body Boot Camp, they've completed everything they need. They're going to be opening up on June 2nd with a big grand opening. So we'll have more details on that to come with that progress, Mayor. Thank you.
Excellent. Councilman Dean.
Yes, Mayor. I spoke to Alice today, and again, we had some issues with the recycling collection. It was last week. So she asked, maybe that if me, her, and Glenn could have a meeting potentially sometime this week to discuss it, because she reached out to the county. They have made documentation of all the streets that they missed, delays, and all that stuff. So she just wanted to sit down and talk and discuss that. Now, I told her that I'm leaving Thursday later in the evening. I said to go away on vacation for the holiday. So I'll know better tomorrow my schedule if we can do it. If not, I come back late Tuesday, so maybe sometime late next week.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. That's all.
Councilman, I'm sure it's the same experience where, throughout the county, but do you know if other, she's talked to other recycling coordinators and they're finding the same thing here, or?
The meeting that we were at, everybody seemed to love, the service that they were getting, other than, I think it was South River, all three South towns. It was South Plainfield, South River, and there was another one.
South Illinois.
Maybe South Amway. That kind of like had issues. Their issues were more or less broken glass and the sliding of the containers. They weren't really placed in, ordinary fashion. What she did say is, I guess, when she talked to the county coordinator, as far as when they talked to Solterra, the first time around, there was a 2.5-hour backup at Colgate in New Brunswick for dumping. So by the time they were able to dump their truck and potentially come back, the driver basically quit on the spot. Told Solterra, I'm done. I'm not coming. I'm not doing a 12-hour shift, and literally left his truck at Colgate and walked off the job. So that was the first incident. Then this last one, they I guess, I don't know, they said that, South Plainfield loves to recycle, and we filled up all 5 trucks, and, again, by the time they got to Colgate to dump and trying to come back, it was too late. I mean, eventually, I think they end up getting to everybody from what she said, but it was just that time frame of, again, residents calling and, asking and stuff like that. So, we just wanted to sit down and talk about it and, let her, give her some pointers and ideas to reach out to the county with and find out what's gonna happen next.
Okay, excellent. Councilwoman Faustine?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. To start off with, for our seniors, I just want to alert everybody, there will be an identity theft seminar, 5/23. It's open to everyone from 11 to 11:30. For children in town, over at the library, we have this Saturday, for those not going away, we have a Mario Kart competition from 1:30 to 4:30, so I invite you to come with your children. Also, next week on 5/24, there is a Friends of the Library meeting, so if you're looking to get more involved, I invite you to come and check that out. They will also be closed for Memorial Day on 5/27 and 5/28. I would like to also acknowledge, I don't know if everybody's seen, but there was a new item added to the dog park last weekend. It was built by Sean Ramos for his Eagle Scout project, and he built a ramp for the dog. So I'd like to thank him again for that, and just let everybody know that he was the one who did that. A few weeks ago, I think Councilman Dean had mentioned that there was some All-American wrestlers, and somebody looked for some acknowledgement. Well, I did bring that to Recreation, and they went forward to the wrestling club. They're creating a banner to honor them, which will hang in the cap. So I just wanted to let you know. The community pool is filling up as we speak now for an opening of 6/2. And on your way in, I don't know if anybody saw, but there's markings behind Borough Hall now in the back where Willow Park is. And the new playground is marked out, and its installation is imminent. So it will be in the next week or 2. And with that, progress.
So, thank you. Council President Benjamin.
Thank you, Mayor. Just keep in mind, I know that this weekend is the official kickoff to summer, but it is also Memorial Day, and we have to remember all those who served and gave the ultimate sacrifice. We have a lot on our wall that we have here representing us in the borough. But take time on Monday. I know a lot of people start barbecuing and stuff like that. We do other things and go into the cemeteries and we honor the dead. So take time to reflect on that. And I would be in trouble if I didn't say, in that note, congratulations to my dad, who will be commander for a 2nd year in a row with the American Legion. Who will be getting sworn in a couple of weeks. So he'll be, everybody got an invite to the memorial ceremonies and everything. So congratulations to him and everybody who serves in our armed forces, and let's remember those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And with that, progress.
Congratulations. At this point, open up for public comments. Anything on your mind? Yes. You're coming next.
Hi, Sandy Doyen, 105 Institute Town Court. I'd just like to say something as the Vice President of the South Plainfield Education Association. I'd like to take a moment to congratulate all the teachers in our community. As Teacher Appreciation Week came and went without proclamation, I might add. And I think our 450 members really deserve to be thanked for the wonderful service they give to the children in our community.
Definitely. Yes, Mr. Benjamin.
Make sure this microphone works. I just wanted to personally invite you to our services on Monday. I know I sent you a letter, but I wanted to personally invite each and every one of you to our services on Monday.
9 a.m., right?
It starts at 9 a.m. and we go to each of the cemeteries and then come back to the American Legion. And this is, the American Legion is made up of men and women who have served their country during wartime. And this year, we are celebrating our 100th anniversary. So I'd appreciate as many people that can come to our memorial service and honor those who have gave the alternate sacrifice. Okay?
I will see
Thank
you
you
there.
very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Wood?
Debbie Boyle, Van Fleet. A shout out to Mario Abzezi and his family for all the years of service that he's given. He's been in so many aspects in this borough, and he will be missed. Please take the Mayor's Wellness Health Survey. It's confidential, but we need that to formulate new programs for our residents. Also, as a member of the Green Team for the borough, we're working on an essay contest for students about what sustainability means to me. Tomorrow at Roosevelt School is the Roosevelt concert. It's 10 a.m. and 6 o'clock at night. May 23rd is the scholarship presentations by Unico at Giovanna's. May 24th is the Business Association meeting. May 25th is the Memorial Day program at the middle school at 9 o'clock. They ask that everybody gets there at 8:30. I know Fair Council always goes. And at 1:30 is at Riley School is the Walk to Fight Cancer. Also on June 2nd is the 5K race for Holy Savior Academy. I know many of our students enter that every year. Adults are welcome. They can also do the walk. It's the Boyle Memorial Foundation golf outing. And in the evening is the South Plainfield High School merchandise bingo and mini tricky tray event that starts at 6 o'clock. Again, thank you to everybody who came out to the District Art Festival, the Junior Journalist Dinner, and also to the Zumpathon. They had over 90 people at the Zumpathon. It was excellent. And again, for those who came to the line dancing, we had a good crowd there also. I was in Trenton on Saturday. There were 121 districts represented. There was a huge back and forth discussion on school safety and security. We asked that the police officers, level 3 officers, and the SROs go above the 2% cap. That was voted out. That should have been in. That's a big burden on the school districts to stay in with that 2% cap. Also, there was requests for stricter gun control, and that was taken out. This is a very basic resolution that was done, unfortunately. It should have been way stricter than what it's coming out to be. It can always be sent back to be amended. I'm also working on an article as Middlesex County NJSBA president. We have visited with numerous assembly people, senators. We're looking to visit with the congressman. And they do hear our voices. And they have to bring our concerns back for security, for the HIBs, for the bullying, and for the safety of the students. They do hear us, and they do bring that back. But again, all of the legislatures have to be on board with what we bring them. Including the fair funding formula for the schools. Hopefully that'll come to fruition. Thank you.
Fingers crossed. Anyone else? Yeah.
Suzanne Lee, Bullard Place. I just want to echo Debbie's comments about the line dancing event on Saturday night. I would like to thank Papa John's Pizza for donating 2 extra large pizzas to the event. It was very greatly appreciated, and they look forward to, they've said to me personally that they look forward to partnering with us for any of our events that we have hosted in town. So it's something that maybe Debbie, you want to get in touch with them for National Night Out, because they may want to donate some pizzas to that event as well. So yeah, it was very well received. And my dad just reminded me, because nobody mentioned it, I guess it starts June 5th, Lady of Czestochowa Fair. Please
June 5th
stay
to the
in.
9th. So,
Yeah, so for anybody that wants to attend that. And the next big thing for cultural arts is the window decorating contest in conjunction with Christmas in July. So start thinking about what you want to paint your window to look like. Any ages are welcome to paint. It's a lot of fun.
We're going to put Christine in charge of that.
Including adults.
Yes, all ages. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sir?
Good evening, Mayor and Council
Good evening.
members. My name is Rick Mattioli, and I represent Lift Tech Forklifts, 124 Sylvania Place in South Plainfield. And I was asked on behalf of our company to come here and ask for consideration to look into the paving of our street. We moved in 1989 when the facility was built. And there was an initial paving of the road, but it's never been finished, it's never been paved. Right now, the road's in pretty poor condition. We understand that in the next couple of weeks, someone will be coming out to fill potholes, but just looking to see if someone can look into.
Mr. Miller, you personally take a look over there?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll take a look at the bad spots and see what repairs we can do for now for temporary repairs. We can ramp up the manholes and catch basins and things like that. And then we'll, the road program for this year is set, but we'll have it on the list for consideration for next year's road program.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. And by the way, those Lift Tech golf balls are something special. At this point, I'll close the public portion. We are going into executive session. You are more than welcome to stay and talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back soon. The results of tonight's executive session have yielded 2 additional resolutions that we're looking to introduce tonight. Resolution 18-229, authorizing the temporary appointment of John Ambrosetti as Code Enforcement Officer. Be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of South Plainfield, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, that it hereby confirms the temporary appointment of John Ambrosetti as Code Enforcement Officer until such time that a permanent candidate or candidates are appointed. Be it further resolved that the temporary salary for this position is $2.50 per hour. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the following: Amy Antonides, John Ambrosetti, temporary code enforcement officer, Carmela Suda, payroll and daily benefits. Can I get a motion to add?
You have to open it to the public.
Can I get a motion to add resolution 18-229?
So,
Second.
Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilman White. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Just adding it to tonight's agenda. And resolution 18-230, authorizing the salary adjustment of the computer service technician due to an expansion of work assignments. Be it resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of South Plainfield, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, hereby authorizing the adjustment to John Ambrosetti, computer service technician salary due to the expansion of work assignments. Be it further resolved that the revised salary for this position is $62,300 pursuant to the salary ordinance for the same, with copy to said individuals. I believe that prior salary was about $56,000, right? Okay. Can I get a motion to add resolution 18-230 to tonight's meeting?
Motion.
Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilwoman Faustini. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. At this point, we will open it up for public comments regarding the addition of resolutions 18-229 and 230 or any other items on your mind.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank you, Glenn, for your kind words about Mario today. I appreciate it. With regard to this resolution, I understand you're doing this on a temporary basis. But I would implore, having driven and driving around this borough, that this position eventually be a full-time position. No disrespect to Mario, no disrespect to anybody, but This town is absolutely a mess. It requires a full-time position. Doesn't require a part-time, doesn't require giving another department additional duties. And it's something that should work hand in hand with zoning, because it often goes in hand in hand. I believe years ago it was a zoning and property maintenance issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it makes it a smoother transition. So I would implore this council, both Republican and Democrat, consider making this a full-time position. This town is in desperate need of it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Amy, can I get a motion for the adoption of resolutions 18-229 and 18-230?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Council President Benjavanga, seconded by Councilwoman Faustini. Amy, can you call the roll?
Yes, Councilman Dean?
Yes.
Councilwoman Faustini?
Yes.
Councilman Besh?
Yes.
Councilman White?
Yes.
Councilman Bullock?
Yes.
Council President Benjavanga?
Yes.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you. At this point, once again, I'll open it up for any public comments, anything on your mind. Seeing none, close the public portion. Can I get a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
So
We are adjourned. Have a good evening, everyone.